Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive.
Always ready to explore something new.
Today, we're going to look at something, well, a little chilly. We're going to be talking about cold weather.
Ah, yeah. The topic that, everyone can relate to, at least on some level.
Definitely. And although our source material is maybe not as extensive as some of our past deep dives.
True, but that doesn't mean it's not packed with information. Judging means we can really get into the nitty-gritty of what we have.
Exactly. We've got some scientific articles, historical accounts, and even some urban planning research.
Yeah, kind of a cool mix of perspectives on cold weather. So where should we start?
Well, I was immediately drawn to the human body's response to cold. The science behind it. I mean, we all know we shiver, right?
Right, but it's way more complex than just shivering. What the articles talks about, brown fat.
Brown fat. Okay, I have no idea what that is.
So I didn't either before reading this, but basically it's a special type of fat that gets activated when you're exposed to cold temperatures.
Interesting. And what does it do?
Well, it actually burns calories to generate heat. It's like your body's internal furnace that kicks in when it gets cold.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's not just about layering up. Our bodies actually adapt at a cellular level.
Exactly. Pretty cool, right?
Definitely. But thinking about it, people throughout history didn't know about brown fat or any of that fancy science. How did they deal with the cold?
Yeah, that's where those historical accounts get super interesting. They relied on different strategies, things like communal living.
Ah, so sharing body heat makes sense.
Yeah, and they also focused on high-calorie diets. I mean, you need more energy to stay warm, right?
Right. And what about clothing? Did they have anything special?
Absolutely. The accounts talk about using animal furs, certain types of woven fabrics. It depended on the region and available materials, but they were definitely creative.
It's amazing how resourceful they were.
Yeah, they had to be. Cold weather was a serious threat.
Absolutely. We've got our bodies adapting, people adapting their lifestyles. But what about our environments, the places we live?
That's where the urban planning research turns in. And it's really interesting to see how modern cities approach cold weather.
In what way?
Well, think about it. You've got snow removal, right? Keeping roads and walkways clear.
Yeah, that's essential.
Exactly. And then there's insulation in buildings, making sure homes and offices can retain heat. And public transportation systems have to be designed to function reliably in cold temperatures.
Wow, I never really considered all of that. It's a lot more complex than I initially thought.
Right. It's like even something simple as walking to the store becomes a different experience depending on how well a city is prepared for cold weather.
Absolutely. And, this makes me wonder, have there been any studies on the psychological effects of cold weather?
That's a great point. The sources we have don't go too deep into that, but it's definitely something to think about. Like, how does cold weather affect our mood, our creativity?
Yeah, I mean, some people love the cold, others hate it. There's got to be more to it than just, personal preference.
Exactly. And think about how cold weather influences social interactions. People tend to stay indoors more, so how does that impact communities?
So many fascinating aspects to consider. It's amazing how something we might consider, just part of life actually has such a profound impact on us.
That's what's so cool about these deep dives. We get to peel back the layers of seemingly ordinary things and uncover all this hidden complexity.
Exactly. So for our listeners out there, the next time you step out into the cold, take a moment to really think about it. How your body is reacting, how your city has adapted, and maybe even how cold weather has shaped the history and culture of where you live.
And if you're up for it, do some research of your own. Look into how different cultures around the world experience and adapt to cold weather. You might be surprised by what you find.
Thanks for joining us on this chilly deep dive.
Until next time, 82-1 season.